Cheers! Happy New Year!
Banana.
I don't know what that is.
Banana, which means good year in Italian.
Yep.
Alessio, was it?
Sometimes.
Welcome on to the Deep to NBA podcast. My name's Sean, and joining me sometimes is Alessio Conte, Mr. Conte, my man, sir.
Yeah, well, sometimes they call me that. Not anymore though, Mr. Conte now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sir is good. I like sir. Makes me feel powerful.
Yeah. We didn't really come up with a story to say at the start. For the intro, I've written down, coming at you from a beautiful part of the world. We're coming at you from the small coastal town of Tutters.
Yeah.
Short for Tutguruk.
Can you even call it? I mean, it's just a suburb, right? And there's literally like 3 shops in the whole suburb.
Yeah, it's a suburb.
None of which sell groceries.
Beautiful part of the world.
Beautiful part.
Yeah, the 3 shops are the bottle shop, the cafe, which are a block apart or 2 blocks apart.
Yeah, and then
beautiful.
It used to be a chemist, but it's now a bottle-o. So, hey, say what you will about the Mornington Peninsula, they know how to fucking buy it.
I will say a lot of things about the Mornington Peninsula. Do you prefer the Ninch or the other side of the Great Ocean Road?
Definitely the Great Ocean Road. You mean the Bay?
No, the other side of, like Geelong, the Geelong Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, Bellarine or Mornington.
Oh, fuck, is it called
It's
Bellarine?
the other side of the bay.
Yeah.
Not the road, because the road's in it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Definitely this side.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, not even close.
What about the rainforests on the other side?
Don't care. Hey, let's go to the next suburb over in Mornington. Okay, no worries. I'm going to walk 5 minutes to Rosebud. Over there. Hey, let's go to the next suburb. Okay, cool. Pack the tent into the car. We're going to drive half an hour to Ocean Grove. Get out of here. I don't want to hear it.
But it's surrounded by trees and there's just pure natural space in between.
The Italians put a bunch of fig trees and apricot trees in all of these houses. That's enough for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, fair enough. This is also the cross-continental connection. We've got producer Leandro in the background. You can just wave at us from the other room.
Patreon viewers will see him.
Yeah.
Doing his stretches.
And today we're going to, I'm sure you've read the title of the episode, we're going to go through our All-Stars. I think it's been long enough. The All-Star voting probably gets cut off like a month from now, but I don't know how much is going to change. But we're going to give our All-Star teams, both East and West, which is the format they're doing it in this year. I think it's a great change to make. East and West just seems like a natural way to do the All-Star.
I feel like they've been doing it like this the whole time.
Yeah, nah. Well, yeah, they have, but then they just get captains.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
God, this is fucking pessimistic.
This is awkward.
Pessimistic less on the.
Just an FYI to the listeners, he's stretching to go for a walk, not to go for a... Yeah. He's not stretching to go for a run, he's not stretching
he went
to
for
like...
a run, he's stretching to decompress from the run.
They didn't need to know that. It was funnier when they didn't.
Oh,
that's okay.
Poor lad. Alright, well, we're going to give our All-Stars.
Should we do starters for both conferences and then dive into the weeds?
Yeah. I don't think there's too much to talk about.
No, there isn't. No, there definitely isn't.
There's 2 things. So
there is 2 things.
So the Western Conference, we've both got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lukas Doncic. I've written Tony Edwards. You've written just Tony. That could mean Anthony Davis, though.
No.
Tony Davis.
No, God, no. Definitely Tony. As much as it pains me, it is Tony Edwards.
Yeah, I sort of struggle with that pick. We've both got Jokic as the 5. Just for what it's worth, by the way, there's 2 guard positions and 3 front courts, so that could be 3 centers and 2 guards. But yeah, that's the way they've done it. So as the 2 guards, we've both got Luka Doncic and Shai, and then Nikola Jokic at the 5, Tony Edwards at the 3, let's say, and then you've gone Kevin Durant and I've gone Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I had written in Kevin Durant. I don't know if you opened this sheet 2 days ago.
No.
But it had Kevin Durant in it, and I went back and forth, and I took him out. Kevin Durant's on my bench. And I've got Anthony Davis in there, but Anthony Davis isn't on your bench. Why are you omitting Anthony Davis?
I think the other players on my bench are better than him at basketball this year. And I don't want to reward the Lakers with 2 spots at the 10th seed or whatever they are. And even if in a month that changes to the 4th seed with however many... Like, I just don't care for it at all. I think Durant... counting stats, it's like not even close. Wins are close enough, but the Suns have been super duper injured and the Lakers have been super duper helped by the refs to get wins and they still suck. So I'm not rewarding them with 2 players, and LeBron's better than him, so LeBron would be the person that gets picked over Davis.
Now this is a little bit of a layup question, and I know who I'm passing it to in the hater Alessio. But how much stock do you put in winning the in-season tournament for the All-Star?
I literally forgot that it happened. I forgot the IST happened. Zero stock.
Zero stock.
Yeah, like flawless. If it could be negative stock, it would be a negative stock.
Okay.
But obviously, you put some stock.
I put a little bit of stock in it. I think Anthony Davis has been really good this year. Like LeBron and AD have both been great. I've got LeBron on the bench. So do you. LeBron and AD have both been great, but AD's like back to like he's got the Rudy Gobert profile on defense, where it's like he's deterring shots. He's not doing it to the level of Rudy Gobert this year, which is like quite interesting. And neither of us had Gobert on the All-Star team, which is again interesting. Like he's back to doing that thing, but he's also just like scoring a lot. And like in the past, and you've messaged the group chat heaps of times being like, oh, hey, Anth, how about you just like finish a layup? Like LeBron just passed you this amazing like thread the needle pass. Just put it in. Like you don't need to fuck around and then somehow post up for 2 seconds and then fade. He's been doing that. Like, he's actually been finishing. And he's gone back to like who he is.
I think he's got the 25 and 12, like the Dwight Howard numbers, which are what you want, but I think like when Dwight did it in 2012 compared to what that is now, those numbers are completely different.
And
whereas Durant's in like I think he was like 29-7-7, something stupid, like really, really silly numbers. And when the wins are the same and you've already got a player on the team, like I think historically there was, I didn't know how to thread the line between, or how to walk the line between who should be there and who do I want there. So I sort of just like picked it from feel, which I guess is technically who I want there.
Well, yeah, in terms of who I want, I would want Durant. I probably should have just done it. I reckon
potentially.
Let's say as a 6-man starting lineup, Durant's the 6th.
Yeah, I don't think there's another person that could possibly get in there. And there's a chance you just drop Edwards and put Davis in as the third front court player, right? But anyway, I don't think there was a world where I'd ever pick Davis over Durant, at least this season, because Durant's carried that horrid franchise.
Yeah.
Whereas Davis hasn't carried his horrid franchise.
Yeah, but what's the... But carried is like... They are...
Yeah, they're like 500.
They've got identical records, but Phoenix has one less played game. It's interesting because like
Phoenix sucks though.
Yeah. Well, so we're seeing it could just be an outlier year, and like we've got such a small sample size, but we're seeing maybe the benefits of having the play-in tournament and having the flattened lottery odds, because like the teams that are tanking are like, you know, Charlotte, Washington, Detroit, San Antonio. They're very, very, very bad. And then the middle class is like from Golden State is the 12th seed, and you could say the middle class is maybe North Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
And that's the 5th seed. Yeah. And then so the middle class is huge. And like I put it on the Deep Two's story the other day. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 teams who were all 21 and 15 in the East, right? Yeah. The middle class is so stacked, and then Boston, Mini, OKC, Philly, and Milwaukee and Denver. Like they're clearly a tier ahead of those other teams.
Yeah, and I'd like to apologise to Minnesota fans for what I said the last time I was on the pod. It seems a lot realer now than it was then. But that comes with like games played and proving it longer and longer.
That's with a bigger sample size. But because the plane's there's less teams are going to blow it up and tank, like we're seeing in Memphis do, which is just like, you know, a crazy situation with Ja Morant coming back and then getting injured. So because there's this really tight pack. In the past, we've looked at a team like the Indiana Pacers and been like, well, they have to have an all-star because the Indiana Pacers are the 4th seed right now. So that's why Sabonis might have had some of those like fake all-stars where he made it in Indiana.
D'Angelo Russell had a fake all-star.
Yeah, stuff like that where it's like, okay, Brooklyn's the 5th seed.
All of Julius Randle's all-star.
Yeah, if you've had a good first half of the year. But now we're looking at it and like you might look at it and go, oh, well, New York's the 4th seed, but we don't really see them as a 4th seed because if they lose one game, they're down to 9 or whatever it is, right? Yeah. So I think that's a little interesting byproduct where when I put Tony Edwards in there, he was the only player that I looked at it and went, oh, I'm rewarding winning here by giving the Minnesota Timberwolves their best player starting.
The only teams that could be rewarded winners are the top echelon. Not just playoff teams.
Which is interesting because like I've gone into voting for All-Stars in the past. Voting isn't just talking on the pod because I vote for funny guys and Warriors. But it's just it's interesting that we're not rewarding those teams for just getting a 4 seed because there's such a big middle class.
Yeah.
Anyway, that might be more of a comment than a question.
Well, that being said, I have rewarded the Knicks for being a 4 seed over your pick in the East, purely because I don't think the Hawks are in that middle band. I think they actually just suck.
Yeah, they do suck.
Yeah, they suck, and you did a whole pod about the tear down rebuild type thing. So Eastern starting lineups were Haliburton starting guard. We both had Jason Tatum from Boston, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Yanni, as my Australian friends call him, and Joel Embiid as our 3 frontcourt players. And the spot that we differed was Sean's a big Trae Young fan, as listeners would know, and I am not, as I hope listeners would know. So I've gone with Jalen Brunson because his team has way more wins. Yeah. So maybe it's less because they're the 4 seed and more because they have an over 500 record and they're actually good at basketball.
Again, a little bit like the KD thing. Like, I completely get it, and I Denard, but I just went with Trae Young, averaging nearly 30 points a game.
And I don't think you could pick Maxey over Brunson.
No, It's
not as a starter.
It's really hard, isn't it? So I've got Brunson on my bench, and you've got Trae Young on your bench. Like, we all agree that they're both all stars. Yeah. But I just think Trae is a better player.
The numbers are crazy, but the team just sucks so bad.
Yeah, but what's an all-star? Is it the dude who averages 30 points on an team, or is it Jalen Brunson who's just a very good team player and knows exactly what to do and wins games by doing it?
Yeah, it's probably Trae. But
yeah. All right. Well, that's the brief starter chat because
the East starters are pretty simple. The West starters, you can have a little bit more variance in the front court spots. I don't think you can pit Fox over either Doncic or Shea if Fox is the 3rd guard in the West. And
Curry really gets a hit for the record here.
Yeah.
They're the fucking 12th seed.
But then also, Curry gets the Trae Young comment, right? Where it's just the numbers are pretty cool.
Yeah, but Curry also has to go against Luka and Shea, while as Trae has to go against Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Maxey.
That's right, exactly.
It's an easier field. But I'll run through the bench players that we have similar in the Western Conference bench. We've both got Fox, both got Wardell, Stephen Curry, both got Şengün. I've written him 3rd, but he was actually one of my later picks.
I just linked up the names that were the same next to each other.
Right. Yeah. Both got Kawhi, both got LeBron. I've got Kevin Durant on the bench. You've got Devin Booker, a 2nd Phoenix Sun, on your All-Star team.
Yeah, which makes me sound like a contradictory. For reference, he's better at basketball than Davis. That's why he's there. I literally couldn't think of another person to put there.
Yeah,
so I just put Booker.
But it's Anthony Davis, isn't it?
I think after our conversation it is. When I was thinking about it by myself in a dark room.
I just can't get I just can't get the Booker, all the bad players on Twitter. I can't get them out of my head where it's he'll dribble the ball down, maybe he'll run dribble handoff, doesn't go anywhere, and then he says, all right, ISO. And we've seen all the clips of Devin Booker just be okay, I'm going to dribble for 17 seconds against a great defender, and then just miss a shot. And then it's the memes where he's just yelling Kobe as he takes it. And it's oh, cool, you're 2 of 11 from the field.
Okay, fine, I'll change it.
And he's allergic to bad games. All right, so you've changed it. Thank goodness. Cool. Chuck him on your apologies, injury replacements, and close calls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if I didn't even put him there. So we've both... There you go. We flip-flop there. I've got Kevin Durant on the bench, Anthony Davis. And then our final All-Stars, I've got Chet Holmgren, and you've got Domantas Sabonis. I'm rewarding winning here, and I'm rewarding a dude who's top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And
his team's better.
And you're a Kings fan.
Nah, it's the triple-double averages. He's 25, 12, and 8.
It's a bit of the Trae thing where it's who's the all-star? The dude who averages 30 points or the 21 points who on a good team?
Yeah, there's a serious chance that Chet is better at basketball already.
And more impactful in the playoffs, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
If all he does is catch and shoot, but then have great rim protection.
I wonder how many games we're winning with Boner out compared to how many games they're winning with Chet out. I think Boner makes a bigger difference than Chet. As of the last 40 games.
Yeah.
But not our 30 games, whatever it is. I think that's a counting stats pick more than it is a anything else pick.
I didn't have Boner as one of my close calls. The only Western Conference player I had as a close call was Desmond Bane, and that was their record is so bad I can't rationalize the trade.
But Sabonis is way better than him.
Than Desmond Bain?
Yeah.
Desmond Bain's been really good.
Yeah, but like...
He's been number one option on a bad team. Sabonis has been a number two option on an average team. But Sabonis is putting up insane numbers, like leading the league in rebounds. Whatever.
Much of a muchness. And I think if it did come up, and there will be an injury replacement. And like I think the assistant coaches would go with Sabonis before they would go with Bain.
I think they would. Also, I think this is one of the downsides to doing this exact podcast with you as one of my friends, because we see the world very similar. So when we start having these conversations, when we get down to the end, when you're like Boner and I'm like, Chet Holmgren or Desmond Bain, we're both just like, but it doesn't matter, and then we just move on.
Yeah, but I think the good thing is that like for our intelligent listeners, which is all of our listeners,
I think 95%,
they'll appreciate the fact that we can be candid and that we're not bloody talking heads. Sean just leaned in for a kiss, if anyone.
Yeah, with Patreon. And we've got a lot of news to get to, so it actually doesn't matter if
let's keep moving.
So
for reference, it's Fox, Curry, Şengün, Kawhi, LeBron, lock. Sean has Durant, I have Davis because of discrepancies in the starting lineup, and then Chet Holmgren for Sean, Domantas Sabonis for me. But happy to flip those two first.
It's just like, the black dude with the white singlet when AI first started making pictures, and it was like differences settled, where it's like the crocodile and the dude with the pizza.
Yeah.
Now to the bench, Eastern Conference bench. These are the guys that we have the same. Tyrese Maxey, Bam Adebayo, flip-flopped on Jalen Brunson and Trae Young. Paolo Banchero, famously not playing for the Italian national team.
Yep.
I've got Kristaps Porzingis. You've got Jalen B, bracket not Brunson.
That would be Jaylen Brown for our keen listeners.
Ciao. Donovan Mitchell and...
Mitchell being the same, sorry.
Donovan Mitchell being the same. Let's hold on to that last one but let's just talk about Kristaps Porzingis versus Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
I believe we have to reward the Celtics for being the best team in basketball, so they need 2 All-Stars.
Yep.
Again, sort of going back to Chet Holmgren, I think Zinger has been more impactful for the Boston Celtics than Jaylen Brown, who's having a bit of a down season.
Yeah, I think just Brown's better at basketball.
Yeah.
And has been in there before. But, All-Star voting, Boston known to be the city that it is, white guy might get more votes. That's all I'm saying. Jaylen Brown's always in trade talks. No one's dreaming of trading Porzingis at the moment.
I bet that by that logic, Sam Merrill might sneak in or something. Or no,
Hauser.
Yeah, Hauser.
Get him in there,
bro.
They might just get Gordon Hayward in there.
You put Sam Merrill and Sam Hauser in a fucking lineup and say pick the difference with a gun to my head. Call my mother, tell her I love her because I won't be home for dinner.
Also, I don't know who Sam Merrill is, but Sam Morrill, very funny comedian. Shout out.
Hang on, Sam Merrill plays for Cleveland, but I might have got Sam Merrill, 3-year NBA veteran. It says here.
Haven't heard the name once.
Look at that cunt. Looks like he's got drafted in World War II.
Yeah, no.
6'4" 2 guy.
Captain America, they call him.
Best position to defend is the 1. Very, very versatile. In the 2022 season,
Sean?
No. In the 22-23 season, he shot 100% from the floor.
One shot.
5 games from the 2-point.
Oh.
5 games, 0.8 attempts per game.
4 shots.
Yeah, God, that's some Lucas maths right there.
Thanks. Shout out Lucas.
This year, shout out Lucas with the vid. Bro, that sucks. All right, and then for our final Eastern Conference spot, I've got Scotty Barnes and you've got Damian Lillard. I have Damian Lillard as a close call.
Yeah, you know what? Just change it. I actually don't. I remember looking at Lillard's stats this morning and picking him because I couldn't think of anyone else.
Yeah,
I don't like that pick at all. I don't think he's been good.
Damian Lillard, no, he hasn't. Yeah,
no.
and he's still,
Barnes has.
Yeah, Barnes is like that. That second year for him was a blip. Like everyone was like, "Oh, Scotty Barnes might be the most improved player," and Toronto looks really committed to him. And then he just absolutely shut the bed last year, which is quite weird. This year he's fully bounced back, averaging over 20 points per game. As their coach said, he's a budding star in the league and he's going to be the face of the league, which I completely understand. He was very angry, but I don't know about face of the league.
No, God, no. The bloke can barely speak English.
Yeah.
Not the coach, Scotty Barnes.
Did you see Evan Turner was just like, Did you see the Evan Turner thing?
No, but I can only imagine. Was it Evan Turner making fun of his accent?
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, Evan Turner, talk into a mirror.
Yeah, it's like, Evan Turner, you talk like you've got fucking frog croaking in your throat. Let's not make fun of this dude.
Yeah. He's also not American, and also, God, we hate Americans here. Except
Evan
for
Turner,
our American listeners.
We love you. Let me quote Evan Turner on Instagram. You got to let your assistant coaches do the rant when, quote, you have accent, quote. Not even a zinger. DS17 _ field goal, who you might know as Dennis Schroeder. Bro, chill.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes has just been really impactful. The winning thing's not there, but as we talked about, it's a really compact middle class.
Yeah, but like the Bucks are winning because Giannis shoots 20 free throws a game, not because Lillard's good at basketball.
Lillard could just be a replacement level point guard, and the Bucks would still win a lot of games. But Damian Lillard just hasn't committed to defense like I thought he might. I thought he might finally take defense serious, being on an actual title.
Especially since Russ is doing it.
Yeah, well,
like what the hell?
His peers are doing.
What are we talking about?
But even like, and I know you don't want me to bring back to the Warriors, but like Steph Curry was a bad defender, and like Steve Kerr pulled him over and was like, "You just need to fucking try. We're gonna blitz every pick and roll with you, and you're gonna have to sprint and then sprint back." Like again with Jokic, look, you're gonna need to get in shape and you're gonna need to fucking sprint on defense. And these guys just did it.
Who are the best players ever that haven't been two ways?
Yeah, or who are the best players or haven't tried on defense? Yeah. Honestly, Curry
and Jokic are both good defenders, though, as in serviceable.
They're serviceable, passable. Let's have a very quick brainstorm. Who's a bad defender who's won a champion?
I mean, there has to be someone. You can't put me on the spot like that.
Like Kyle Lowry's a good defender.
Yeah, great defender.
All the Spurs dudes are great defenders. Miami had all good
Yeah, who won chips? All those Lakers teams were good defenders. Howe tried, even if he wasn't great. All those Celtics were good.
Yeah,
in like 08 and stuff.
Because Ray Allen used to be like, when he was athletic, he was a great defender.
That Pistons team was like all defense.
Let's go sooner. Bucks, obviously.
Yeah.
Lakers, obviously. Danny Green and Alex Caruso.
They won because they could defend.
Yeah.
So
it's
not looking good.
Obviously the Warriors.
I mean, and then like that Nuggets roster, they won because they brought in KCP and Jokic tried, right?
Well, yeah,
Porter Jr. is bad, but he's 6'11".
But he's 6'11" and he did try.
His job wasn't like the 1-to-1 defender. He was the weak side shot blocker.
You can, I guess because he is 6'11", he can block shots. But maybe Jamal Murray. But like, it's not like he's not trying. Also
6'4", big dude. Yeah. So.
Dame
Lillard, you're not going to win the chip this year. You heard it here first.
Well, that's actually really interesting to have a quick brainstorm and go like, who the fuck hasn't tried that's won a title?
Yeah, because they'll get wiped if he's a negative matchup.
Yeah.
Which he has been against Trae Young this year, funnily enough. Because I was like, God, do I want to pick Trae over Lillard? And then you stack everything up, and it's just not even close.
Yeah. Which is like. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard, has he been an all-star for like every single year of his career while he's healthy?
No, because he had those 2 years where he was snubbed twice in a row.
Oh,
and there was the whole like, Lillard got snubbed again, what the hell, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, whatever.
15-16 and 16-17.
Get over it.
Where he averaged, 25 and 27. Sharing the court
with
a prime LaMarcus Aldridge.
Definitely should have got picked.
Yeah.
Nah, Aldridge wasn't there then. Might have been a Spur then. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. Alright, then close calls. I have Desmond Bain, Damian Lillard, and Julius Randle.
Yeah, Booker, Lillard, Randle, but I guess...
Mitchell?
No, I don't know why that's there. That's really good.
Yeah, Julius Randle, I mean, like, again, the middle class is thick. I'm not going to reward winning because they're the 4 seed because they won one game. Also, OG Anunoby in the first 4 games as a Nick is like plus 177 or something, some fucked up number.
Nice.
It hasn't been like a lightning from 3. Like I think he might be averaging like less than 15 points a game.
Sabonis should definitely be on your list.
He should be on my snubs. I mean, Sabonis over Desmond Bain. I'll do.
Yeah.
So I'll do Boner as a snub.
Jaylen Brown could be a snub. You could do.
I've got 2 Celtics. I don't want 3 Celtics. Is Jimmy Butler good?
Like, what happened to? Is he?
He hasn't played.
Okay, he hasn't played. No Chicago. No Nets. No.
Mikal Bridges down season.
No Hornets. No Wizards. No Pistons. Paul George, is he injured? What's going on there? No Pelicans.
Nah, Paul.
No Jazz, no other Warriors, no Grizzlies, no Blazers, no Spurs.
No Larry Markkinen. Victor Wembanyama's high up in the voting. Is it maybe because he's a rookie 7'4" French centre?
Euro bump. He got the Pachulia bump.
He got the Georgia bump.
Yeah.
I was just going to make a reference to a really niche song. Dame Time.
I reckon we should top up these bloody drinks.
Alright, let's take a break then.
This episode of The Deep 2 is presented by Gelateria Bico, the official gelato of The Deep 2. Gelateria Bico, handmade gelato in the heart of Brunswick.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
I really don't know how good that's going to come out. But we're back. We're topped up.
It's the sound of a podcast restarting.
News of the week.
Can't wait.
Ja Morant out the rest of the season with a shoulder injury is coming from Memphis PR. This was supposed to be just like he will be reevaluated next time he gets an X-ray. He got an X-ray and they're like, oh, there's a fucking tear. Did
he get hurt or did he?
Yeah, he got hurt in warm-ups. He got hurt in training. Like he was jumping or he's playing basketball. I don't know why I said jumping. And his arm just moved incorrectly. He ended up playing 9 games for the year. The Memphis Grizzlies were 6-3, famously 3 more wins than the Detroit Pistons.
Oh god, yeah, right.
They look like, we all saw the stats where it was like if they were to make the playoffs, they would have had to be on like a 55 win pace once Ja Morant got back, and that would have just been the play-in. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool for them to chase. They obviously had incentives to do it, but now the incentives are to not be good at basketball, to complete this gap year so they can draft their own James Wiseman or their own Shaedon Sharp. And what are your thoughts about the Memphis Grizzlies from here on out?
Zero thoughts.
But do you feel promising that they can upgrade with this draft, whether that be to trade it or to... Yeah?
No.
Why not?
Because they traded away all the good draftees they had. They did their batch of good drafting.
Yeah.
And like it happened.
But so right now, if the season finishes and I don't see them like out-taking San Antonio or something, they're going to have the 6th worst record.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they get the 6th pick. Would that doesn't make you feel good about them upgrading in the off-season? Or like... Yeah,
but they had their Anunoby shot. It was there the whole time.
That is true.
They never pulled the trigger. They pulled the trigger for Marcus Smart. Arguably a bad deal in the sense that...
I think it is.
Does he fit? Like what are you picking him up for? Because he's going to have to defend threes in this like starting lineup of yours. I still think Jaren Jackson sucks. So unless they're trading him, I personally don't feel anything from that. So I guess I'm just like super out on Morant after the whole thing. So I just couldn't care less.
And one angle that Nate Duncan and Danny Leary were talking about on their podcast, which is like a little bit of an interesting angle, is that he's away from basketball. Like this is his whole entire life, basketball, right? And obviously when you're away from the things that you love, you can get quite upset and maybe you can go through like a bit of a down period mentally. And is there like there's got to be a non-0% chance that he just goes off, I just want to fuck around with a gun, and maybe he's got a phone nearby. Seriously?
Yeah,
like,
no, literally.
Like what?
Literally, like grow up.
No, but it's like he's not going to be doing anything. Like he's got a bum shoulder. He can maybe, let's say, he can run, but he definitely can't shoot.
Yeah,
right?
he can like dribble with his opposite hand.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the upside of having a torn labrum is that you can't shoot. Like
yeah.
But it's like this. I would say that like he missed games for obviously like touting the gun multiple times when he was told not to tout guns on social media, but like that seems very much like a mental issue, and I just hope that he can, like, as you say, grow up and be better than this. Does that worry you, or am I just like getting way stuck into the weeds too much?
No, I love it. I'm a major. Would proponent be the right word? I'm into the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I think his dad's an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
His dad's a dickhead, and he's going to be spending more time with his dad than he would have been before. Like, he's not on the road anymore, and dad's only coming to home games and shit. Like, he's probably rehabbing with his father, and his father is a dipshit, and therefore is going to be not teaching him the lessons that we believe he should be teaching him, because he will listen to his father before he'll listen to, like, a medical professional.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I mean that was in the Baxter Holmes article for ESPN that talked about how Memphis Grizzlies have sort of been like, oh, your dad's actually a horrible influence and stuff. But back to the basketball. This is going to be another team that's taking a gap year. They're going to get a high draft pick, and then it's like you're going to draft them, you're going to trade them. Like last 2 years ago, the Blazers got the pick for Shaedon Sharpe.
Yep.
And Damian Lillard said trade it.
The Warriors thing as well.
The Warriors were like looking at ways to like trade down. The Dallas Mavericks last year tanked. They got the 10th pick. It was top 10 protected, and they got Derek Lively. Teams have had high draft picks while they've been good.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen anyone trade for an impact player because there's such a short window where it's like, oh, you've got the 6th pick, right? We need to be good immediately. Like, I think maybe the last time it happened was when New Orleans, was when the Lakers got the 4th pick and they got the DeAndre Hunter pick, and then they traded that as part of the Anthony Davis package, and that was what, like, I've got air quotes up, that is what bowled them over to get the Anthony Davis trade through to New Orleans because they were able to get that 4th pick, which they then traded down from 4 to get 8 and 10, and they drafted Jackson Hayes and someone else. But we don't really see things like this because it's such a small window where it's like if the Utah Jazz are going to be like, hey, we really want to trade Larry Markkinen, it's the chances of that happening outside of the window where, hey, Memphis, you've just got the 6th pick. Cool, we've got the 6th pick in the lottery. Next week or 2 weeks later, you're gonna draft the player who you've got. That really good all-star level player who's going to replace Dylan Brooks as your starting small forward, they have to become available within those 2 weeks when no one's playing basketball.
Yeah.
There's no finals on. There's no transactions going to happen because the transactions are going to happen after the draft. Someone miraculously has to become available after the lottery, and we haven't seen it happen yet.
And like, are people just making less bad trades? Like, bad trades are still happening, but like, I don't think anyone's falling for the like 6th pick is something valuable anymore.
I think it is. I think
it's valuable in a vacuum, but it's not valuable for who they're trading for.
The
player they're looking for.
Let's say it is Larry Markkinen, right?
Yeah.
So if you're Danny Ainge and you're the Jazz,
yeah, I don't think I care at all.
Unless you know that there's someone there at 6. But like the Jazz are probably going to get like the 8th pick, right? And they're probably saying, how worth is it giving up our all-star wing to go up to or to add the 6th pick when we're also already adding
plus
the 8th
other things,
pick?
And your other things aren't as good as other teams' other things.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, so there's this... there's a report shortly, or maybe not shortly, just a couple of months after the Cade Cunningham... was that a Josh Giddey draft? Or no, it was a Chet Holmgren. Was it... Who was... The Cade Cunningham draft was Evan Mobley... That was it, yeah?
Barnes and stuff.
Yeah,
because they were teammates in high school.
And it came out that this is before Shea got really good, but OKC actually offered Shea in a trade up from 6 to number 1 with the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Pistons said no, which is like, that if that's how much it costs to trade up, well, of course, like, how are you ever going to trade that 6th pick if you're Memphis?
Yeah,
but also,
Cade was seen as like... Cade was seen as like a...
Was a sure thing.
Yeah.
OKC in that report said that they were going to draft Evan Mobley if they did that trade.
Oh.
They were essentially going to trade Shea for Evan Mobley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's pretty revisionist history fuck to think about.
LOL. Can we do the second dot point last?
I was actually just going to say when I went, okay, improvements from other players like Desmond Bain.
I don't know, I meant the second whole dot point.
Oh, the second whole dot point.
Or
okay, cool.
Micro dot point.
Old thing. Yeah, Vince Williams is going to get more minutes.
No idea who that is. High draft pick.
Justin Gouliard.
Do you? I mean, like, let's throw it back because I'm just going to.
Hey, let's throw it back.
I'm just going to be a negative Nelly / Nancy.
What?
Shout out to all Nellies and Nancys out there. You obviously are going to have a bit higher hopes than me, like
at the Memphis Grizzlies turn around.
Yeah, for what comes from this.
So today they waived Bismack Biyombo so they can sign Vince Williams to an actual contract. He was on a 2-way. He was like a good 2-way player. And without the resting rules, I'm more positive on it, but without the resting rules, like they can't just say, hey, like Desmond Bain, just take a day off.
Yeah, true.
Which is going to be quite miserable because it's just going to be like let's say they're with the Atlanta Hawks and they're like fighting for that 6th pick compared to anywhere as high as 10. Like, it's just going to be who gets injured first, which isn't good for sport, where it's like if Trae Young rolls his ankle, and it's a 2-week injury, but they say, take 4 weeks and we'll just keep telling him.
Yeah.
But Jaren Jackson's just perfectly healthy, which is like completely within his right to be a healthy human. That's going to be bad for the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think as a viewer, Sean Carroll, I think that would be bad for basketball because I want the Memphis Grizzlies to be good because I loved it when Ja Morant came back and hit a game winner against the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Right? That's fucking great for basketball.
Poetic.
And I want Ja Morant to have, an OG Anunoby on his team, and I want that team to have a higher draft pick. And I think it's just going to be like we're flipping a coin on who's going to get injured and who can tank better, because without the rest rules, like they're going to get fined $25,000 if they don't rest someone. Like we saw the Nets got fined 2 weeks ago for holding out like Cam Johnson for an extra day than he should have.
I feel like the rest rules should only apply for teams that are like good.
But how do you if you're
the league makes judgment calls all the time. They made a judgment call on the Draymond suspension.
But if you're a lawyer for the league, how do you word that?
Don't matter.
If Alessio Conte believes you're good,
they make shit. Everyone makes shit decisions all the time. Just
make another one.
Just do it.
Corporate America.
Let it rip. They don't care. And like these teams, like $25,000. Who cares? They don't care about 25.
But let's say you're resting Triple J for the last 20 games of the year. I am more optimistic. I just want to see one of these trades happen. But just as I said, after the lottery and up to the draft, that's such a small window for guys to become available in a trade, and you don't see them because
no, they don't.
You go into free agency, and then let's say the Grizz are like, oh, we really want to trade you this 6th pick, but OG Anunoby just promised to sign for us on a 5-year minimum, right? So they're going to be like, well, we're not going to trade for Larry Markin because we got this in free agency.
Is Drew Holiday the best player to be traded that hasn't asked for a trade in like God knows how long? Like I feel like the only way to trade a player now is if the player's like, get me out of here, or if they're just a cut underneath the like game changing. And I mean, Drew could technically be a game changer, but
well,
do you have to be a cut below that where it's like Porzingis, Drew, much of a muchness. We'll just flip him. We're both happy, whatever.
But even when it's not like a request, it's like OG Anunoby. Oh, his fucking agent is Leon Rose's son.
It's and he's going out of contract. We've been trying to flip him for 3 years, right? Yeah. Or supposedly.
I think Emmanuel quickly could join that list of best guys to be traded. I think,
but not for when he was traded.
Right. Okay.
Not for when he was traded.
Yeah. Drew. Then. Yeah. It's like, but so if your follow up question is Larry Markin going to get traded? Because I think Larry might be better than Drew.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
They're both third options on a title team, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think Drew might be the best dude to not ask for a trade.
But Larry's not asking for a trade
because he wants.
But he's in a situation where like he is the tradable person, right? Whereas Drew, the Drew thing was like, oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean he was sad himself. Like he tweeted a week before he said he wanted to retire in Milwaukee.
What if they like serious chance they regret it?
Yeah,
serious chance.
But I think their coach is bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if Dame's still not buying in on defense.
For sure.
Yeah.
That feels like a Dame thing though, more than a coaching thing. It might be a coaching thing.
But also, how good is it being right? And we've just been like, oh, shut the fuck up, Dame. Like,
and it's like, bro, you've been crying about being this loyal fucking for years. Okay, yeah, you're finally in a situation. This is the best chance you will ever have at winning something. Maybe try and make it happen. Try and make it happen.
Do something different.
Don't let Yanni do it.
Alright, next piece of news. Draymond Green. This is a quote in his little piece to camera. I'll call it his piece to camera, not his podcast. Somehow came from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. Quote, Adam Silver talked me out of retiring, and a bit of an extended quote extended quote. He said that he said to Adam Silver when Adam Silver was like, hey, look, you've gone through all this counselling where you can come back to the Golden State Warriors, you can come back to basketball. And he said, I don't know if I'm cut out for it, I'm going to retire. And then, quote, this is what Adam Silver says / Professor Oak when you try and ride your bike indoors. You're making a very rash decision and I won't let you do that. And a lot of people had a laugh at this on Twitter. And just like, think about Draymond Green has hit a lot of people this season. He's hit a lot of people in the past. But he just hit one too many people this year, 25 games in as opposed to 82 games in. And the league said, hey man, we need you to go to counselling because you're actually like acting out, you're being very violent on the basketball court, and we're trying to like keep violence to an absolute minimum. And he went to the counselling, and then he came back from the counselling and said, I don't want to play basketball anymore. He's owed $100 million for the next 4 years, and he said, I don't want to play after hitting people for 25 games. That's a crazy fucking sentence, and I can't wait to hear what you're going to add to this.
I have a statement. I'll save it for the minute. When he stepped on Sabonis's chest,
Sabonis was in the way.
Hold on. Okay. So my question was going to be, you were like, where else was he going to put his foot? Blah, blah, blah. I just need you to say that it was on purpose.
Oh no, it was.
Okay,
I was just winding you up.
Oh, thank God. My ego needed that.
I was at your house for dinner, and I was winding up your whole family because this dude was in the way, but this is an athlete who has won Defensive Player of the Year and can dunk a basketball as if he couldn't take an extra half a meter and move.
And known for all the hits you mentioned.
Yeah.
So I went on a JVG podcast episode.
Shout out JVG podcast episode.
It was pre the merger. So
the network.
It was still Deep 2 Extended Universe, but it wasn't the Deep 2 Podcast Network. And it was like maybe COVID times, and
that would have been pre 3-point line as well.
Yeah, it was back in the day. Magic Johnson was the goat or something. I don't know. Someone had AIDS. Whatever.
It was Larry Bird.
And I went onto a pod and I said, maybe Bradley Beal's just dumb. And I think the mantle's been taken by players that are too smart for their own good. And we all know, everyone who's listening and everyone who's ever existed in the history of the world ever, they know someone who's too smart for their own good, where they're not actually smart at all. They just think that they're so far ahead of whatever's happening around them, or just in general.
Yeah.
There is a serious chance that he's the stupidest person. And we know that he's not. Because
he's got the media thing.
He's excellent at basketball.
Yeah.
And he speaks so well. He's so
he's so well spoken.
Not fluent and he's amicable when he's on a basketball court. It seems like
he's thinking about a career outside of basketball.
For
and
sure,
stuff.
super duper smart dude. But I've played basketball. You've played basketball. We've all played for the most part, we've all played
sport.
Domestic sports. These people are the worst people in the world.
What, the sports players?
No, they're the Draymond Green.
Oh, the guys who just hit
they
people
suck.
for this. Yeah,
they suck so much, and he sucked the whole time. He's obviously for the parts of the game that he sucks in. This is so stupid. Adam Silver talked me out of retiring. Yeah, Adam Silver wants you to play, so you sell a bunch of tickets, whatever. Let's not pretend Adam Silver's saving your fucking career. But out of retiring, you're an idiot. You're so dumb. Yeah. You're so dumb. Yeah. Bullshit. You were retiring. Bullshit. And if a counsellor talked you into that, or not that a counsellor would talk you into that, but you talked yourself into that through counselling, then what the hell is going on? What are you talking about? You're an idiot. You're the one doing all these mistakes. And if the talking out is I feel like I'm just going to keep lashing out, I can't put myself in that situation. Go back 33 years then, man. You're in too deep.
Yeah.
Maybe just retire. Don't do this bullshit. Just retire.
That's what his psych said. Look, bro, maybe just retire. Just to add an extra layer to it, he went on Podcast P.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. And
after this?
Nah, this was before. This was maybe pre-Rudy. Remember when Rudy grabbed Clay by the neck?
Yeah. When Rudy did nothing wrong. Yeah, I remember this. When you were staring at my family again. And my whole family was... For the listener, we're sitting there at family dinner. Shawnee's come along for whatever reason, I don't know why. And we're watching the highlights and we're seeing every angle of the Rudy Gobert Draymond Green choke. And he, for the life of him, is trying to point out the fact that Rudy's done something wrong to Clay. And not one of the other 6 people in the house could possibly see the bad thing that Rudy Gobert's done. And Sean's just sitting there fighting for his guy. And here he is being talked out of retirement by Adam Silver.
Yo, that's my guy right there. So he went on Podcast P and he was just talking about, this is post Jordan Poole punch, which is a sentence in itself, right? And then he was just sort of it was a really good insight into the locker room where they're just what's it like, trying to get your image back after doing such a fucking dog shit thing, right? Like punching your teammate. Like, you should be running through fucking walls for your teammate, right? And obviously Jordan Poole has, let's say, been on a big decline since then.
He sucks.
Yeah, and he sucked for the Warriors, and he was acting up, and it's like no one could blame him for ever acting up and just saying, I want more minutes.
But sorry, off topic, but like, was he ever good?
Yeah.
I know he was. I know he was.
But like, what's the question?
It's just like, I can't believe
he was fully good.
This person for the last 2 years, he's like Jaren Jackson. Like, he can't dribble, like he can't shoot, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
But he did have that. Yeah, he
was a good 6 man. Like, and the end of the 2020 season. Anyway,
we're gonna stop jerking off the Warriors.
Yeah, we don't. But I saw this dude on Twitter that was just like, man, I said to before the Boston final series, like, this dude on Twitter was like, I said to my friends, bro, if we win this title, I'll go through fucking pain and whatever the fuck it takes, because just to win the 2022 title, see Steph win it by himself, Steph gets finals MVP, it's all worth it. And this is after like Kuminga requested a trade, this dude was like, it's not worth it. I'll give the 2022 title.
Nah,
this is horrible. It is.
That dude's an idiot.
It's just Warriors exceptionalism.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Like, so,
typical Warriors.
So on Podcast P, Paul George, the host,
interesting.
He was like
the non-all-star.
He was like, how do you like speak to your young players after doing something horrible to the young players? Like, you're supposed to be a veteran mentor, and you hit someone, right? Like, what's it like? And he's like, I've really struggled to like be the voice in the room since then. I've really struggled to like get the attention and get the respect from the young players. Now let's fast forward a year after that podcast was recorded. Kuminga has only complained. Moses Moody has now started complaining about getting minutes, because as soon as something's not going right with Steve Kerr, who I think Steve Kerr is also our fault, but as soon as...
He's so cooked. Like, as in he's done.
As soon as something goes wrong with Steve Kerr, you can't just have Draymond Green. And Steph Curry is always... this has always been the thing, that he's been a very quiet leader. And the only time he ever spoke up and had this big speech was in that Kings series before Game 7, when he was like, guys, I'm going to go score 48. Please don't fuck this for me, right?
Oh.
That was actually... Steph apparently just does nothing, and he just sits in the back and just stays in the gym longer than ever. And that's like that's the thing about Steph.
Sure.
And Draymond's been the guy who pulls the guys over and says to Paddy McCall, like, hey man, like, you can't turn the ball over like that, or you can't take that 3-pointer.
Only I'm allowed to turn the ball over like that.
But then as soon as Draymond loses that voice, as soon as he punches Jordan Poole, and as soon as like Jonathan Kuminga says, I don't actually give a fuck what you think because you might hit me, bro.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he's not doing that. His voice is gone. He's been suspended for 12 games, not with team. Steph Curry's not a vocal leader. Klay Thompson is not a good basketball player anymore. So like, who the fuck's listening to him?
Yeah.
It's just fucking gone, bro. Like, obviously we're bad on the basketball court, but it's just gone for more reasons.
Else.
It's everything, man.
Bob Myers is gone. Steve Kerr's cooked.
Bob Myers also a horrible draft record since 2019.
Yeah. I mean, like, what are you doing picking wise? The bloke didn't even play in college. You're drafting a high school kid.
He played 2 games, Rick. Come on. But yeah, I was really excited to see what you thought about the Draymond Green switch.
Yeah,
Would you believe it's the exact same thing I thought you were going to say?
In my heart, he's not stupider than Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal still might be one of the stupidest people I've ever listened to talk. It was a vaccine thing with Brad Beal.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It was a vaccine thing with Brad Beal, and and then like the Wizards are stupider than Brad Beal because they gave the vaccine person the
100, 500,
the 250 no trade clause, whatever. And then Phoenix for trading for someone with a no trade clause, but not having them waive that in their contract. So now Phoenix might be the stupidest. But anyway, we're really just getting into the weeds here.
New owner syndrome said, new owner said, do it. I don't care how you do it.
Yeah. But Draymond's got to be top 3. Top 3 silly gooses. The silly goose police were on the phone to me last night. They said, we're looking for Draymond. I said, he's in the Golden State.
Yeah. No, I was at the fuckhead pub the other day and they all knew him.
Yeah.
What was I doing there?
Yeah, well, I hear you're a frequent...
Find me in the smokers.
Yeah.
All right, next piece of news. Dennis Schroeder is, quote, not happy, unquote, coming off the bench after the Emmanuel Quickley trade, coming from Michael Granger of Sportsnet.
6 words.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
It's very who do you think you are?
He's a world champion.
This is a super Schroeder take. It's right down the line. It's exactly what we want him to say. He's going to come out. He's going to be an all-star second half of the season because of this.
You reckon? No, because I was like, maybe he's got a stat about how he averages 5 more points after the trade for a starting point guard.
When the Raptors tell him to piss off, he'll come out, quickly he'll get injured, 30 and 10.
Also, Quickly's the future, but the coach hasn't been playing. Like, he's really been actually resting on Dennis Schroeder. And
Schroeder's
also
playing plenty for a person who's done what he has in his career, like decline the 100 million or the 84 million, but much of it. Decline the 4-year deal with the team that's going to win a championship. Decline, like, pick up a minimum, go off that minimum, get a great contract because you outplayed your value, because obviously you're more valuable than that. Excellent Eurobasket or whatever that last basketball tournament was. The World Cup. Thank you so much. And it's like, yeah, but the other bloke's 23.
The other bloke's 23 and he's good.
Yeah, he's 23. He's probably better than you.
Yeah.
If he's not better than you now, he will be better than you at age 27 when they're trying to be good. And if Scooter Barnes is the bloke that is running the point and quickly needs to hit threes, that's not your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So, like, bit of self-reflection, and I know basketball players or sports people in general are really, really, really bad at this, and we, as like super intelligent podcasters, are really good at it. But know your place. Who do you think you are? Get over it.
Jeez. Next piece of news: Tyrese Haliburton is out for at least 2 weeks with a hamstring strain, coming from Adrian Wojnarowski for ESPN. Big hit for the Indiana Pacers, who want to break into that 21-15 mold in the East. But he will be healthy for the Indiana All-Star game, which is great.
Yeah, he's the best good stats, bad team guy potentially ever.
They might be a good team.
Are they? Or is he?
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. You know what I mean? Like, is he so? Is he so good?
I know, but then
we're going to have such a good stats bad team.
But then we're going to have a conversation where it's like, take the best player out of every team. What are they? You know?
Yeah, they're bad. Good stats bad team. That's what it is.
Okay.
Kevin Love couldn't make those Timberwolves teams win.
You know, he got 30-30.
Yeah, I do know.
And that's actually what they named ESPN's 30-30 off, because that was the first documentary.
Shit.
Yeah.
Congrats to Kevin Love.
Can I just say, my fantasy basketball team, I had Ja Morant and Tyrese Haliburton.
Can I say that unless you're in the fantasy league, no one cares? No, thank God it's 2 weeks, because Lucas of the Deep 2 fan reported that the quote, it looked pretty bad, unquote, close quotes.
Yeah, it did.
Thank God it's 2 weeks.
I mean, there was that, a hamstring strain can be like as much as 6 weeks, and this is on the air. It says at least. That's reevaluated in 2 weeks.
For sure. It could be ages.
Pretty
and they don't really need to win. And like,
they do.
Miles Turner's in that. They do.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. No. And Miles Turner's in that OG Anunoby. Like,
it's some Charles Barkley shit. He's in the Onamanab
Yeah, sorry. He's in the OG phase where it's like, are we trading him? Are we not? What are we doing here?
No, they're definitely keeping him. The owner's like 102, He's next year he's in the Guinness World Book of Records.
Damn, shout out. I've said shout out probably 5 times this pod.
So cringe, bro.
Yeah, super cringe.
You can't call anyone cringe for the rest of the night, and we're about to watch a Sydney Sweeney movie.
Yeah, and that's cringe.
Do you like rom-coms?
I know the last time I loved rom-coms, but 2000 to 2010, anything post or pre, not happening.
So, not... Anything post or pre 2010?
2000 to 2010.
I thought you meant
that 1
year. No, not inclusive. 2010. Anything before or after that? I don't. No. Wait. So you don't like post?
It's a rough time frame.
Because pre is pretty cringe. Like, I go back and watch like Love and Other Drugs, and it's quite sexist.
I don't even know what that is.
But
they're all sexist.
Jake Gyllenhaal. No, but the modern ones aren't always.
Yeah, but the modern ones are like pandering.
No, the modern ones are Shakespeare adaptations. So this Sydney Sweeney movie with Glenn Powell is an adaptation of Shakespeare.
Really?
Yeah.
In Australia.
Yeah,
it's set here.
So they're all like old historical novels that just get fucking
I was about to go on a soliloquy about the Sabonis trade, and here we are talking about Glenn Powell being a Shakespeare character.
He is, but apparently they just did a dog shit job.
I'll take your word for it, but I will be playing Pokemon Rogue the whole time.
Have you negotiated that? Have you got confirmation on that?
I'm not negotiating. I put my foot down. Decisions have been made.
Hey, I'll post the story if you're not.
If the Sheila's not happy about it, it is what it is. Shout out to the Sheila. See, said shout out again. That's
I'll be watching the full film.
Really?
In 720p on.
You're not going to play Zelda?
No.
Damn.
I haven't seen this one.
Maybe you're more of a movie buff than I.
I just don't want to make a lewd comment. Final piece of news. The Kings are not interested in trading for Keegan Murray or... trading away Keegan Murray or paying Pascal Siakam his full max. Also coming from Michael Granger of Sportsnet. I read an article today. It was a Sam Amick article talking about just generic news. It was like talking about Eric Spoelstra's new contract and what that's done to the rest of the coaching, like contracts and stuff. And one of the comments was that Pascal Siakam, who doesn't talk about trade destinations and doesn't name any names and doesn't say like Miles Turner said the Lakers should trade for me. Pascal Siakam, whenever he gets asked a question, he answers him like with a million words. Whenever he gets asked about trades, he goes, "It's up to my agent." His agent came out and said, "The only thing we want is a max contract this offseason. The Kings can't pay me that." The Kings came out and said, "We're not paying him that."
And so don't trade me to the Kings.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It'll literally be a rental. Yeah. And of course you're not going to throw Keegan Murray in there because Keegan Murray looks really good.
Yeah. Even bad Keegan Murray is good.
yeah.
Bad Keegan Murray is a
than
totally serviceable 3-and-D wing.
Well, bad Keegan Murray is better than 6 months of Pascal Siakam.
Oh, God. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because it's a cost-controlled 8 years of Keegan Murray.
Yeah. So, how are you going to get rid of Kevon Huerter and Harry Barnes?
I don't think you do. You just sort of hope it comes around. Yeah. I'm totally fine with not having Siakam. We talked about it on the last pod where it was like, is what Keegan Murray could be better than what OG is, considering what you have to give up to get OG? Right?
I'll keep Keegan. He's been really good this year.
No, that's what we're saying. This is what we said the last time we were talking together with a microphone in front of us. And then we posted it on Spotify.
Is that what that is?
And other podcasting apps.
Does this come out weekly?
Mostly, yeah. Except for over the summer break in Australia. Hey, shout out Australia.
Hey, shout out. But also to those American.
Yeah. What?
Also to the American listeners. 95% of you are smart.
And OG's a better fit for our roster than Siakam is, and therefore giving up for a Siakam rental, what we would have been giving for Anunoby. And if you are trading for a rental and you think you can get it for less than Keegan, it's still not worth it because you're not winning a title this year. Even if it... Like, is Fox, Murray, Siakam, and Sabonis on 6 months of practice winning a chip? Probably not.
No.
Like, Boston's better. And Denver's probably better. Let's not even pretend we're getting out of the West. So, not worth it. Super good that we're nipping this in the bud. And it's as in, like, not we, the deep two.
I know.
But, like, the media and the NBA cognizant here saying, this isn't happening. Let's stop talking about it. Let's see where Siakam goes. And, like, who's paying him?
So, 2 destinations are paying him. The Indiana Pacers, and the Indiana Pacers came out and said, we're not trading Taylor Hendricks he's the Jazz dude. They're not trading their forward who hasn't played minutes, right?
No.
Who they just drafted. Yeah. But they can pay him. Yeah. And the Dallas Mavericks.
God, he doesn't look good on... He would if he decides to run, which I think the Pacers can make him run, and I think you would run for a person like Haliburton. God, he would suck on the Mavs though. Yeah,
but they just he would. Yeah.
It's like the DeAndre Jordan thing when they tried to pay him $1 million, $100 million, and they were like, and the Clippers were like, no, please stay, and like Dallas got away with.
Yeah. That was the best signing of the year when they didn't have to sign DeAndre Jordan.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Not having to pay that. Not having to pay that was
all because everyone posted plain gifs and then everyone's posting stickers and then Paul Pierce posted a gif.
Right.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
So like Blake Griffin was like, there was a report where it's like Blake Griffin's on his way to like go to DeAndre Jordan's house and talk him out of signing. And he posted a car emoji. Chris Paul posted a plane emoji because like he wasn't in Texas and he was flying in. And then JJ Redick posted a train. He was getting a train, like not that he was, I'm sure. And then Paul Pierce, who didn't understand what emojis were, posted a GIF of a plane.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The NBA players are so stupid.
Well, Paul Pierce, our group chat profile picture for months was Paul Pierce smoking that fat doob,
right?
On Instagram Live.
Yeah, one of the dumbest dudes in world history.
But also, like,
there have been some pretty dumb dudes.
I'd much rather he just post him doing that than getting a gun in a club.
Have you ever seen him sit in a chair?
Yeah,
I don't think he knows how to do it.
It's a triangle. He
was really good at playing basketball, but like he might be one of the worst humans ever at sitting in chairs.
I think he's cooked all the time.
Yeah, just.
But
cooked as in dumb or cooked as in like high?
Cooked as in high.
I reckon dumb.
Okay, well maybe he's just dumb.
Maybe
as well
both.
as cooked. Yeah.
Maybe both.
Nah, and he's always wearing big sunnies, like Azra Australia sunnies. If anyone gets that reference, please let me know. Just to wrap it up, the Anyone But You film with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell is based on Much Ado About Nothing from William Shakespeare.
Cool.
Glenn Powell was mentioned on this podcast maybe 2 years ago when, remember the meme where it was like, oh, baby Gronk is rizzing up Livy, right? And then it's just like, what does that sentence mean?
How can I forget?
And then it's like, someone was just like, oh, I know I'm too old when I don't understand what the news article says. And it was just like, to me, that just says bleep, blop, blop, flog and dongan, right? Dante saw this thing. Dante, co-host of the Deep to NBA podcast, was like, oh man, you're talking about the Livy rizzing up or Livy baby Gronk, right? I saw this article that was like Glenn Powell to star with Sydney Sweeney in like William Shakespeare adaptation, and he's like, who the fuck's Glenn Powell? And I was like, I can't tell you, brother, like honestly.
And even then, Sydney Sweeney, that would have been pre that.
No, it was post Euphoria.
Oh no, pre the other show. She was
White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like she's more well known from...
Way more well known for Euphoria. But at least Euphoria was like stepping stone. White Lotus was like, okay, you're in.
You're a good actor.
Yeah.
Well, she was a good actress in did you watch Euphoria?
I haven't watched it. I work at a high school. I don't need to be watching teen dramas.
Wow, it makes me feel like a big fat nonce.
Yeah, well...
No, it was a good show.
That's exactly what I meant.
But you watched White Lotus?
Hated season 1, refused to watch season 2. One of the most boring 6 episodes of television I've ever watched.
You want to tell me about people the best players who haven't been traded, right? Mm. I want you to find me someone who hated season 1 of a show but then watched season 2.
Yeah, fair play. You have to be so adamant that the second season... And like...
Don't your parents love it?
That the second season's different. What does that mean?
Well,
I have better taste than my parents.
My housemate of the program, Doc and Shmee, that's 2 people.
Sure.
They just finished White Lotus last week, and then Doc was like to me last week, hey man, you have to fucking watch this show.
Nah.
Really?
Strong disagree.
Damn.
Strong disagree. And like, I know I'm in the minority here, but it was unbelievably boring. Like nothing. The whole thing is that they're building up to episode 6. I'll try my best not to spoil.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that
watch it.
All these things keep happening, and we're building to episode 6. We're building to the last episode. Like everything has to crumble in the last episode. Last episode comes along, and then like the same stuff just like goes the way that it would just because like nothing happens and they're like, alright, cool, thanks for watching White Lotus, see you next year.
And it's new cast in the
and then they reset and they go to a different part of the world and whatever. Absolutely zero time for it. Like the first season of The American Office, they're feeling out all those characters and it's like meh. And then the second season it flips. Hold on, I'm just talking about
comedies are different.
Yeah, but it's like season 1, season 2, where it's like who's watching season 1 knowing they're getting to season 2.
Yeah.
Season 1 sucked, but they were feeling out. Yes, it's a sitcom, whatever.
I think comedy is different.
Okay, right.
Like what drama is like? Are you going to get better at fucking drama? Like your jokes get funnier, and you understand.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you know what? I take it all back. You can actually just cut that for it.
Well, we're only at an hour too, so we can talk for a bit more. But it's not like in a drama where it's like, oh, my tear gets a little bit bigger because I've got this chemistry with you.
I felt 0 for every character in the show. There was actually some characters where I felt like a visceral hatred, but not in a way where it's like, oh, well, the writers want you to hate them because blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The writers didn't make me hate them to feel more for other people. I actually just hated them. Yeah. I didn't hate them because to make me love someone else more. I just hated them and then felt nothing for everyone else.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly, top tier bad show.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the worst.
It's got that filter on it the whole time, the Instagram filter, doesn't it?
Oh man, I don't know what they're doing. And the music, everyone loves the music, and it's like the music's just some guy banging drums and making weird noises with his mouth. I just don't care.
Have you watched The Bear, given you're the chef of the network?
Nah, can't watch. Hate kitchen culture.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so I couldn't put myself through it.
I think watch it. If you watch The White Lotus and you didn't like it, watch The Bear.
Nah, because I can just watch shows that I like.
Don't you just watch Blue Mountain State over and over again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, fuck out of here.
No, I haven't watched anything new forever. Barbie was the most recent new thing I watched.
Yeah, but can I say the whole time Alessio was watching Barbie, he just kept on being like, Alana, Sean's on his Switch. How come he's allowed to play Zelda?
Okay, well, to be fair to me, I wanted to play Pokemon, and my sister, whose name redacted, kept being like, no, unless you've seen it before, you are not allowed to play games. So bloody Sean, who has seen it before, is playing games the whole time.
I've seen it twice.
Okay, congratulations.
I've seen it 3 times now.
Even better.
Yeah.
You want a fucking medal? So he's playing games the whole time. And then I'm sitting there in the back.
You got medals?
Thinking, yeah, I've got medals. I'll give you my under 12 C grade grand final medal.
Nods.
Thank you. And so you think I can't wrap my head around that? Francesca was making it out. Sorry, I thought name was redacted, but obviously not. She was making it out as if I wouldn't get the message of the movie. I got it.
It's not that you wouldn't get the message. She's not trying to teach you to be a feminist.
It was so on the nose. I got it. Understood. Message received. Thank you. Could have listened to it while playing Pokemon for 2 hours. That's all I know.
Ah, God.
I hope she's listening to this.
Yeah, she is. I like consuming media with you.
Yeah.
But only in small doses.
For sure. Alana hates me. My fiance, she hates me.
That must be a difficult dynamic, what with the marriage coming up.
Yeah. I don't know what she's still doing here.
Oh, no.
You think there are redeemable qualities?
Yeah, when you smile and laugh, gorgeous.
Oh, that's nice. I'm smiling and laughing now.
Yeah, she's like Felix.
Yeah. Poor girl.
And on that bright and happy note, that was 3 minutes since I said 102. We'll wrap up. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Deep 2 NBA podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you haven't already, give us 5 stars. If you know someone that hasn't done those 2 things already, definitely do that. Check out the deep2.com. There was an article up there from Matt Parnell talking about the IST, which is short for the in-season tournament. I'm talking about what we've learnt from that experience.
Did he have a different opinion to mine?
Yeah. You forgot it happened.
For real.
No, but it must be hard for your brain because you love Tyrese and you love all the positive energy. So maybe you just remember that Tyrese played in the IST and had a great run, but you forgot the Lakers won it.
No. When I was picking all-star players, I literally didn't even think about it. I just went box scores, what have I watched this year? Counting stats plus what have I watched?
Really makes you think about the rumours that Darvin Ham was on ice because he went to the Western Conference Finals last year and he maybe had no right doing it. Mm-hmm. And he won the IST, went 6-0.
Yeah.
And they're 500 in a very tightly compacted middle class.
Yeah, and the team's not good.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to do?
LeBron's
40.
Yeah. He's literally trying. He's like the knock was he started 5 starting lineups. It's like, well, bro, how do you look at me in the face and say Rui's better than Vando in the starting lineup?
Yeah, and how many other how many other LeBron coaches have we fired or not fired because have we fired because they never did anything about it? And Darvin Ham's let's try and do something about it.
Yeah.
Right? And that doesn't mean he's good. But compared to every other LeBron coach for the last 10 years, bar Spoelstra.
But even LeBron wanted Spoelstra fired. LeBron asked for Spoelstra to get fired after 1 year.
Yeah. True. The Dallas. The
Dallas thing. He's we need a new coach. This dude's 38 years old.
Yeah, and it turns out LeBron hit a jump shot.
Bro, it turns out LeBron not the best fucking scout of fucking coaching or basketball talent.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Pat Riley's been doing it for 60 years.
Yeah. Just the. LeBron the GM, we've talked about this all the Cleveland years. LeBron the GM is just not as good as LeBron the player. LeBron the player, the best player in the world. If you're not the best GM in the world, then yeah.
Yeah, and if we're talking about basketball players having to be introspective, look at Jordan. Know he's bad at it. Step out of the step
Well,
out.
I know listeners are about to go to bed. Do you think LeBron's the GOAT?
Yeah, he's better at basketball.
Better at basketball.
Who's better? Who like?
Yeah. Building a team as opposed to maybe one-on-one, maybe prime MJ wins, right?
Not even. No, nah, I don't think so.
I think give him that because we didn't watch him.
It doesn't matter. Couldn't shoot threes.
Yeah, for his time, is Bill Russell the GOAT?
No. No, he's not.
So when Billy Bob comes along 20 years from now, is he going to be the GOAT?
Yeah.
So it's just consistently going to get better.
Yeah.
As technology
That's across
evolves.
all sports.
Okay. I like that take.
I'm not inconsistent about that. He's the best person to ever play the sport of basketball. As in, he can do the most things better than everyone else, and he has the least amount of bad things. Right? Like, you can throw all the fucking the winning stats you want with the 6 championship, blah, blah, blah. He was playing against fucking plumbers, and LeBron's playing against Durant every second game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even... Like, I mean, it's a conversation. Let's not pretend it's not. But...
I agree.
He is better at playing basketball.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I also just like to know that, like, when I'm watching him, it's like, this is the greatest guy of all time. And I hate to degrade MJ's competition because then it's like, well, someone's going to say that about LeBron 20 years from now. So when I'm watching LeBron and some kid comes up to me in a Lakers jersey, probably, and says, "Man, you fucking watched LeBron, bro. Fucking, he lost 6 NBA championships." And it's like, yeah, because he had to face Kevin Durant. And
he was
Curry.
also like that 07 loss. He was dragging a shit heap against the Spurs when the Spurs were young. Then the Mavericks loss was pretty bad, but it was the first ever like dream team with ancillary pieces, pretty much ever. It was what were the other losses? The Spurs? You mean like one of the best, probably the second best, probably the third best franchise ever.
If you go on YouTube and type in the beautiful game, you'll get a video of passing highlights from those finals. Like that's a pretty good. And also, by the way, that like their 4th player on that Spurs team just so happened to go on and be one of the top 3 NBA players for the following 5 years in Kawhi Leonard. So he was the 4th dude. I'm like, Thiago split as a coach.
And at the time, he was just the defender. All he had to do was focus on LeBron.
He was Oj Nananobi.
And like 10 times better. So I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like every finals Jordan went into, he was the favourite and he had the best team. And he won. Congratulations.
And also, because it took him a while to get over those Pistons teams in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Like, imagine if every single time there was a massive Eastern Conference Finals opponent for LeBron to get over, and he couldn't get past the Conference Finals, well, then his finals record's going to look better because he literally didn't make it. Whereas MJ kept losing to those Isaiah Thomas Pistons. And it's like, well, are we knocking him for getting out of the playoffs sooner? Whereas LeBron went to 10 straight. Whereas MJ couldn't get past.
Jordan came into the league and the best players in the league were like, oh, this guy might be better than me. No one's saying that about LeBron. LeBron came in
much more competitive.
Like what? But like Jordan came in and was like instantaneously the best. Within like 3 seasons, right?
We're never going to say that.
That says bad things about the league. Right? LeBron came in and like made himself the best, or like sort of was the best. He was like 07 LeBron versus 07 Kobe. Kobe Sands will say Kobe, let's be fucking real. Right? But since then, he's had all of these challenges, and guess who always comes out on top, or consistently. And now at 39, he's going to make another All-Star game because he's averaging 25, 7 and 7. Like, what the hell are we talking about? People like Jordan has the perk of coming first. Right? You're the first best player ever. Therefore, you will always be the best player ever. I think that's absolute horseshit. People need to pull their heads out of their asses. And like, who is better at playing basketball? The new guy who has the experience of the guy from the past, but then with better training and a better body and a better everything.
Like, German science recovery.
That's the way the world works.
Well, Steve Kerr had a good quote where it's just like, someone asked him about who the GOAT is, and he's like, of course it's LeBron. And it's like, oh, but you play with MJ. And he's like, yeah, but like, you look at baseball bats. No one's ever like, hey, the baseball bat in the 40s was better than the 2023 season. It's like, no, the technology's evolved.
Yeah.
We're better at recovery. Like, some of the dudes, like Wilt Chamberlain was, and this is something I read in the Book of Basketball by Bill Simmons. He was so scared of people trying to assassinate him, which, like, fair enough. A black man in the 60s in America, he was worried about people assassinating him, that he had this one ball boy that he trusted with his life, really. And he said, I want you're the only person. And he's like, if you get me a glass of water, someone's going to spike it and poison me because I'm too influential as a black person in America. I need you to run to that vending machine, because the vending machine is coming from a factory, buy me a 7-Up, and that's all I'm drinking during the middle of games.
Yeah. And they're smoking. All those old Euro players. Like,
yeah.
It's not even close, man. It's not even close. The bench players we have now are 10 times better than the bench players we had then.
Yeah.
The superstars we had now are better than the superstars we had then. And the superstars of then were good.
Yeah.
They were super good.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
But if you try to tell me Magic Johnson's better than Steph Curry at basketball, like,
I'll punch you.
I don't believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you the Draymond treatment.
And also, Luka Doncic came into the league and he averaged 16 points, right? And it's like, Luka Doncic is now, you can call him the best player on the planet, like the most talented player on the planet. If he was in MJ's shoes and got drafted 3rd by the Bulls, he's not going to average 16 points in his rookie season. He's going to average 25.
Yeah.
It's like that's just the talent.
His brain is a supercomputer.
Yeah.
He might be the fastest processing, like, offensive player ever, and LeBron is currently that person that we see, right?
Yeah.
God, honestly, it's like, it makes me so infuriated to talk about.
Well, especially people our age.
For sure.
Yeah, because it's like, if you watched MJ and you were a 20-year-old watching MJ, it's like, I've never seen anything like this.
But that's the pull your hair out of your ass.
Yeah, but you romanticize parts of your life.
Well, this is my take with Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars is actually really bad.
I like your take about
If you watched it when you were 8, you love that shit,
bro.
But it actually sucks. They all suck.
I'm one of those people who watched it when I was 8, and I completely agree with your take. When I see the shit,
oh, that is awkward.
Did you say yes? When I see the credits coming down from the top of the screen, I get goosebumps in the cinemas 100% of the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's pack it up, because that means pizza time.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming on the pod. Go to the website and go to the subscribe.
5 stars.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show is your fortnightly dose of the lighter side of basketball, hosted by me, Marco.
And me, Lucas. We take a more laid-back approach, talking about the NBA, the WNBA, FIBA basketball, culture, whatever tickles our fancy or grinds our gears.
The show is filled with great guests, classic gags, and a healthy dose of tangents in honour of the great man himself.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show, fortnightly on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
Loves just talking about the league, certain things like that.